Okay, so this is a battle between me and Gam3r47 from YouTube. And I started a little bit late because I wasn't really focused for this battle, which you'll see a lot of stupid moves in this one. And this is the first time I'm using this team, and he said he was testing it too, but he obviously did way better than me. And so he does U-turn to Garchomp, and I expected Earthquake or a Swords Dance, or I don't know. I expected just Earthquake. And I sent in my Salamence, and this is a bulky Salamence, and he Swords Dances, so now he's only at +1 attack. I figured I could survive Dragon Claw just because Salamence is trained in defense, but he does Outrage, so that's kind of a surprise. But here's one example of me not really knowing this team. I could have easily just sent in Weavile and Ice Punched him to death, but I sent in Glaceon, and Glaceon survives because it's got awesome defenses and does Blizzard, and he has a Yakberry, but Blizzard by a 394 modest Glaceon Yakberry's not going to help too much, so I don't know. I just stayed in because I figured Glaceon couldn't even survive Vaporeon passing it a Wish, so I just let it die to close combat and figured that he'd either stay in or something. So he switches to his Magnezone and I do Wish, so I either predicted I thought he was going to do Substitute just because he figured I would switch, and I did, so I just went to Abomasnow just to be safe. Or, no, I guess I went to, yeah, another stupid move. I went to him, and he probably expected it was either Choice Scarf or Choice Specs, but it would outspeed him. And I figured he'd either Substitute, which he probably wouldn't do, or he'd switch to something. And this is perfect, because this is exactly what this Heatran is meant to do. It's meant to make it so special walls can't do anything, and then weaken them up with Fire Blast and then just explode. But I didn't get a chance because he switched out, and he switches out to Shiny Suicune, and Fire Blasted way more than I expected, because this isn't Specs or anything, but it's still, and it's Speed plus Nature. So I switch out to Abomasnow, just figuring that I could set up some Leech Seed, and I figured he'd probably Surf, so switch into him and he resists it, and then I Leech Seeded here because I figured that he'd either switch, but he rests now, so I Leech Seeded him. It probably would have been a good idea to do another Leech Seed, but just to be on the safe side I did Wood Hammer, and takes off a small chunk of his Abomasnow, or Magnezone, and I think I Leech Seeded here. Wasn't really sure. Or actually I switched, I don't know why. I figured that he'd switch after seeing Weavile, expecting a Brick Break, but and here I thought that Leechy would activate, or the whatever berry would activate, because it doesn't look like it looks like he's below 4th health. So I do Substitutes because he's a Focus Punch, and he stays in, which really surprised me, because I figured he'd run, figuring that Brick Break would kill him, and he'd just switch to his Rest-talking Suicune. So now he switches. That's really surprising, but he probably figured that I'd just Brick Break there, but I mean, it's kind of obvious it was a Focus Puncher, but so I Night Slash hoping for a critical hit, and he does Sleep Talk, and I was really hoping that he'd do Rest or he just wouldn't be a Sleep Talker, but I got pretty lucky there. So I Night Slash him, and it almost kills him. And really, if it would have killed him, it might have changed up the match, but probably would have just switched to Magnezone for the quick kill. And then Hail kills the Suicune. Like I said, I wasn't really into this battle right now, so I don't know what I switched to. Oh yeah, I figured he'd switch to Infernape, so I sent out my Heatran, and I figured that he would U-turn or close combat, I guess. So he close combats, and I die because this is a hasty, just because I wanted Explosion to do more damage. So send out Vaporeon. I don't remember what I did here. Just another Wish, because I figured he'd switch again. And now I believe I switched to Abomasnow, just because he can't really do a lot of damage to Abomasnow unless he's running Explode or the weird Flash Cannon. So he does Thunderbolt, it barely does anything, and then Wish heals Abomasnow back to full health. And I think I Leech Seeded here. So he does Hidden Power, which is probably Ice, considering that's what all Magnezone run. And then I Leech Seeded him, and gave me a good chunk of HP back. And here's where I thought that he'd either substitute or just attack, so I did Protect just to be sure. Then he switches to this. I should have done Leech Seed. I had a nagging doubt that I should have done Leech Seed because I thought he was going to switch, but I didn't follow it. Because at this point I just figured I'm not really into the battle that much, and so I'm probably going to lose. So I bring out Vaporeon, my best counter for Infernape, and as soon as this battle started I realized that I had a big Infernape weakness, because I seriously just made this team like 5 minutes before the match started. Or not 5 minutes, but like a half hour before the match started, and that's why all the names are screwed up, because I didn't get a chance to check them. And so I think it's down to, yeah, it's just me. And that Protect was just a bitch move. I mean, Hail would still take away Leftovers recovery on Vaporeon, so it was really stupid. But he Thunderbolts for the kill, and then the game's over. So, good game, Gamer, but I hope that next time I have a better team and I'm more into this. So, yeah, see you later.